Hello everyone, and it's a pleasure to have with me a dear student, Dr. Nirmit Sheth. He's secured an amazing rank of 106 in NEETPG 2019 among 1.5 lakh students, which is great. And he's been a regular batch student with us, and he's done it in his first attempt, and so therefore people would really want to know how has Nirmit done it. So Nirmit, can you tell us your journey from starting with the regular course and reaching this far in the NEET exam?
So first of all, ma'am, I am really grateful that I was associated with DAMS.
Oh, it's our pleasure.
And the biggest USP of DAMS is that the notes that you provide to us, the majority of the questions are from the notes, and also the material which you provide us through e-medicos. The mop-up sessions are also amazing, and they also help us add to the notes. And the tests which I have given, like the GTs and the class test, they are also very amazing.
Okay, now let's take it slow and steady. Now, and Nirmit, I would really want to know, when you talk about your notes, and number one thing I want to know, did you rely on them and you thought that they are good enough and you just stick to it? And how important was it to sit in the class and listen and sort of clear concepts and make your own set of notes?
So, ma'am, sitting in the class is very important. Means it helps us build our concepts, and ultimately, what helps in the exam is the concept only.
Right.
While revising the notes, also it helps us revise the concepts. If concepts are clear, then revision is very easy.
Right. And did you follow the class schedule? So you would have classes in the weekends, and then. So what did you do post a class once it was done?
I always made sure that once the class gets over, before the next class, before the next weekend, I made sure that I finished the subject along doing the MCQ practice, and at the end of the first time reading, I gave the class test.
Okay, wonderful. So I would want to know, sometimes people will say that, it's difficult to remember again everything in one go. So what was your primary goal when you were giving the first reading? I mean, the first reading was in the class itself, but after that, when you read it on your own, what was your primary goal from the reading?
It is very difficult to remember, but the revision is the key to get a rank in such exam. Repeated revision is very important to go through. So in second time, I also felt, and everyone feels that it is difficult to remember, and we cannot do it. But then we have to stay on it and just repeatedly revise the things so that it gets in our head.
Right. And just like you mentioned, after every class we'll give you a post-class test. Do you think that attempting that is important, and that sort of gives you a good idea on what is important from the subject?
So ma'am, importance of class test is that first of all, it helps us to give confidence that yes, what I have read, it is I will be able to score out of it. So that helps us to build confidence on the notes, and also whatever extra topics which were missed in the class, we can add them in the notes.
Right.
So that is giving class test is very important.
Okay, great. And how important do you think is giving grand tests? Because those would be like a 300 bag and mixed questions, whereas subject tests are just pertaining to the subject you've done recently.
Yes, ma'am. Grand test. Actually, I began doing grand test quite lately, because I did not have some notes of many subjects, because I joined DAMS late. So I started doing grand test late, but it is very important to do grand test, because it continuously evaluates your subject, the subjects, and it is not like that. That you have to do all the subjects and give a grand test. You can, there is some remote memory which comes up in any time in the exam.
And I think it acts like a passive revision, and that's what you'll have to do in the real exam also.
Yes. Right. And also, it is very important to revise the grand test which you have given, not just give the grand test and see the score and keep it.
Yes, that is what I was coming to. That how do you use the assessment or the analysis of the grand test to improve your scores?
What I did was that the grant test which I had given previously, during the means when the exam were approaching, I took the test which I had given and which I had not revised them.
Okay.
And I revised them subject wise, which subject, the subject which I was doing, I revised those subjects question from the grant tests.
Okay. Right. And did you use the grant test videos? Because you know, sometimes you might have done a question right or you might have done it wrong, but you don't know the reason behind why that option is the answer or why some other option is not the answer.
Yes, I did grant test videos, but I did not use it to much extent. I used it only to in those questions for which there was some controversy, or those in which I did not understand.
Right. So you used to you know, for ones that you've done wrong, or you used to sort of triage them and then see the videos, right? And you know, since you also mentioned that revision is the key, and how did you, once you've done the subject, let's say with the class, and then you've given the class test, and how did you plan your second revision?
So ma'am, I had begun revision very late, around September, I guess.
Okay.
And then from then on, month wise, I completed one set of revisions. So around 3 revisions.
So every month you did all the subjects.
Almost.
So now the students would want to know from you how do you do 19 subjects in a month? Because you know, I'm trying to ask you because sometimes people do not understand how to revise and then they start faltering. And they think revision could be rereading and rereading everything again, which is going to be time consuming. So how do you do it?
Actually, ma'am, I did the rereading almost everything I did.
Okay.
I did not skip. I did not do like hiding topics or anything.
Okay, so it must be really fast then.
No, sort of it can be said fast.
Right.
But yes, you need to put in that effort to continuously read through, revise the things. And yes, first revision is lengthy.
Yeah.
It takes time. It is not completed in 1 month, but then the subsequent revision should be shorter to compensate for the time.
Right, right. And you know, in the eMedicos, we've been giving you these previous year questions as well as mop-up videos and integrated sessions. Did you use those, and do you think that they were useful as well?
Yes, ma'am. I used them very extensively. I had done, as I said, I had done all the mop-ups. I did not miss any. And the Central Institute discussion videos that you have kept, and also the previous papers. Yes, I did. I had revised them.
Right. And when it comes to the theory and the MCQ part, right, what do you think is more important? I mean, do you rely more on revision of the theory, or do you rely more on doing MCQs, or how did you sort of balance them out?
So first of all, what I did was that during my first reading or my first revision, I completed doing all the MCQs. Okay. And in remaining revisions, I did not get much time to do MCQs, but I had made a point that I write the important things from the question, which I missed out in the notes. So I kept revising the points, but I did not do questions during the final phase of revisions.
Right, all right. And then how important is it to give a mock exam like CBT, which really mimics the real exam?
CBT is it almost nearly 100% simulates the real exam, and also it removes the fear of giving the central exam.
Right.
So apart from the type of question, it also helps us to get accustomed to the environment of exam. So not from only academic point of view, but also to get accustomed, it is very important to give such mock exams. And
did you sort of use the CBT to you know, to understand what you would be doing in the next month before the NEET exam?
Yes, I planned my study according to CBT only.
Okay.
I did my study according to CBT. The dates which I had given, I planned by revision that before the CBT I should complete this much subjects.
Right. And did you use the DVT as well?
Yes, ma'am.
And do you think it was helppful, because this time you did have a lot of visual questions as well?
So yes, DVT is quite helpful in all the subjects. Like in Pharmac, they give new drugs list. it is DVT is quite helpful, and also in the last 3-4 days I used the DVT as a tool to revise the entire course.
So you could pick out, because it I think tells you what subtopics you should sort of be doing before the exam.
So that was quite beneficial. I retrospectively I did retrospectively from DVT and then to revising that topic from the notes.
Okay.
So I did it like that. So DVT is quite helpful.
Right. And anything that you would say that somebody who's aspiring for the coming NEET should do close to the exam, or first, something that they must do as a candidate who's aspiring for NEET is something that is must required.
So first of all, during the UG days, you should focus on the clinicals and also the reading standard textbooks, because ultimately it helps. In this year NEET there were a lot of clinical questions, and that helped. My UG learning helped me over here. And leave the MCQ practice towards the internship. Don't bother much about MCQ in UG.
Okay. And anything else that is a must to crack the exam with good ranks?
Hard work is required, and we need to be persistently and consistent. So
right. And how many questions did you attempt, Bacha?
I attempted 292.
292. And anything that you want to comment on the importance of Part A, Part B and Part C for the exam preparation?
Actually, in this year, though it was Part A, Part B, Part C, but the questions were jumbled. So it was not like Part A had only anatomy, physiology, biochemistry and respectively. It was not like that. Part A contained any other subject like medicine or radiology.
Because they were integrated questions.
They were integrated. So you cannot exactly differentiate that it was anatomy or anything question.
Right. And what subjects do you think would be very important when you think about cracking the NEETPG exam with a good rank?
What my strategy was that I used to focus on the first 2 years, like it is the non-clinical subject, which I guess Sumer sir also is adamant on it.
Yes.
He also used to say that make your basics clear.
Right.
So what my strategy was that only that keep basic the first 7 subject and PSM is a strong point.
Wonderful. Okay. And so it's been great having you here. Thank you so much, Nirmit. And once again, I congratulate you on your performance, and I wish you all the very best for your future. Thank you so much.